Welcome back to the showcast. So our next guest this week is someone whose face I'm sure you definitely recognize. You've seen him in movies such as The Da Vinci Code, Take Me Home Tonight, which I'm actually a big fan of, and TV shows such as Dirty Sexy Money, Nip Tuck, and Fringe. And now, even though the second season has just wrapped up, you can see him as part of the cast of WGN America's show Salem. Please welcome Seth Gabel. Seth, how you doing?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. We're glad to have you on. As I had just mentioned, the second season of Salem had just wrapped up. I know myself personally, I wasn't really all that familiar with Salem until recently, into this second season. But so for people like me who weren't too familiar with it, who are listening to us right now, tell us a little bit about Salem and your character Cotton.
Well, the show is about the Salem witch trials, which we all learned about in high school. But this is definitely not the Arthur Miller version of that historical experience. What we presuppose is that witches are real, and we're actually running the witch trials themselves and causing the deaths of innocent people so that they could complete what was called their grand rite. And that's the whole basis of season one, is them killing enough innocent people to kind of cause this act to be completed that would unleash hell and bring the devil to earth. And season two is all about the devil finding a body to live inside of and take over our world. And in the meantime, there's witches from all around the world descending upon Salem and fighting over who will be responsible for bringing the Dark Lord to Earth, because there will be great benefits for them.
Yeah.
And I play Cotton Mather, who's a real historical figure who is running the witch trials. And in season one, I'm charged with finding the witches and killing them. And unfortunately, they tricked me into killing a lot of innocent people. So my character is constantly on the verge of an existential crisis. And so he takes to drinking, and he's a bit of a sex addict and an alcoholic. Even though he's a reverend, he goes to brothels and is always getting into trouble. So it's an incredibly dynamic role, which I'm honored to play. And in season two, I think we really found our stride. I think, thematically, it's called Witch War. I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it, but a lot of the shit is really hitting the fan in season two. And I feel like the writers, the actors, everyone really hit our stride, and I'm really proud of the season.
Yeah. Did you ever see pictures of the real Cotton Mather?
Yeah, he wore a wig and didn't have a beard. We definitely play it as a period piece, but we make it a little more accessible. We try not to contemporize it, but people look a little more familiar. I think we just didn't want the wigs and stuff to distract, so it's like a bit of an adaptation. Adam Simon, the creator of our show, or one of the creators, along with Brandon Braga, he talks about the show as an early American fantasy. I mean, there's so few stories out there that have to do with the United States, but from a fantasy perspective. I mean, like Game of Thrones and all those, movies about King Arthur and stories about that. Like, the English and the Europeans have their fantasy that they can draw upon, but we don't really have that. And so I think that's what this show aspires to do, is create a pre-American fantasy, which when you get into the mindset of it, it really makes sense. Because if you think about America before it was the United States, it was a completely new world. I mean, they called it the New World. It's almost as if we went to colonize Mars. I mean, it's just insane, and we have no idea what could be there. So these Puritans came over in search of religious freedom, but at the same time, they had personal repression based on their religious beliefs. And while this is going on, they're creating a new society for themselves. They're in the woods where anything can be lurking in the shadows, and they strongly believed in heaven and hell. I have my character on set, like for all my marks that I go to stand on, I put red tape down underneath, because I feel like a huge part of their mentality back then was that the devil is constantly lurking below them. And so whenever I look down and see my mark that I'm supposed to hit for the camera, I'm always reminded that the devil is kind of nipping at my heels, and it's just increasing the stakes of the situation. But they really believe that stuff. And there were Native Americans who we had no idea about. They just seemed like these savages that wanted to kill them all the time. They dealt with famine, starvation, all these terrible things. And so it justifies the mindset of, there being a witch panic and killing tons of innocent people.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure, like you said, you guys delve into, it's a little bit of an an exaggeration of what the actual Salem witch trials were. You guys take it as if the witches were actually existed and such. Do you guys go through a lot of, historians who went through you did a lot of research on the Salem witch trials to use at least as a base point for it?
Adam, Simon, and Brandon Braga, they're kind of the experts on the situation. I mean, they've read like every book on the subject. I started to read a few books on the subject. I also, in high school, had gotten to perform in the Crucible, so I have an understanding of like the facts of that time, but I started to find that it wasn't totally necessary in order to act in the piece. I mean, it's all very interesting information, and I got enough to kind of understand the thought process of the time and enough to understand the period. But it was clear that for me as an actor, it was going to be really easy to just kind of jump into those circumstances. Like, we live in this time, in the 1690s, just understanding the context of where we are, and there are witches. I mean, it's just a matter of like really believing the devil has these servants called witches, and they're manipulating us to do his will, and if they're successful, we're all going to die, and our souls are going to burn in hell, and he's going to come to earth, and in the war between heaven and hell, he's going to cause the earth to be not the dominion of man, but the dominion of, demons and the devil himself.
Yeah.
So,
sounds like a great time to be alive.
History books don't really have much about the devil during that time, so I figured I could just kind of go for the ride. Yeah. And they spent millions of dollars building and recreating the town of Salem in Shreveport, Louisiana. So all you have to do is leave your cell phone in your trailer and you're just instantly transported to another realm. So it's just a matter of like putting on the costume and going for that ride.
Yeah. I know Salem is is the first original series that's produced and distributed by WGN America. So yeah. I'm curious how you feel about being a part of what is hopefully the first of many original shows for the network.
I'm really excited about the network. Having Salem, which is very provocative without being gratuitous, as their flagship show, I feel like that indicates, they're wanting to push the boundaries. This isn't a network show like ABC or NBC or something like that. Like it wants to push the limits of what's possible, and Matt Chernis and Peter Liguori are involved on the WGN side and the Tribune side, and they have a history at FX and Fox, and they know what it is to make great content that isn't fearful of offending anyone. Just let the story tell itself, and no matter how gratuitous it may seem, it's not, as long as it's grounded in reality and real drama and characters that you care about. It makes it all the more exciting for people. So I think it's a great indication that WGN started with Salem. There are other shows. They have so many in the works, and they all tend to be these kind of uniquely American stories, which I think is fascinating. I don't think they intended that, but they've got some other cool things in the work. If you go to their website, you could see that. But at first it was scary to join this new network because you don't know how they're going to support the show, how they'll back it up. But the one thing that I loved was that I really saw the potential for the show, and I felt like because this was their first show out of the gate, selfishly I thought, well, they can't really ever cancel it, because if they do, they're kind of admitting that the network failed on some level. So I was excited to, really be able to dive into something knowing that we'll very likely be able to tell the whole complete story.
Yeah, right. It's a little bit of job security.
Yeah, exactly. That too.
Yeah, and the second season gained a lot more attention than the first. I think I saw a statistic like the season 2 premiere was up like 150% in adults, which is a huge jump. Did you guys do anything different this season that made it more successful, or do you think it was just kind of word of mouth, or what do you think it was that made it more successful?
It seems like it was both word of mouth and being released on Netflix in October. of last year. When we first started airing, I think WGN America, the channel, was only in like 60% of homes, and probably 90% of people didn't know that that channel now existed on their TV.
Yeah, I did not until season 1 came out. When I saw the commercial for season 1, I was like, oh, that's a channel?
Yeah, and they did a lot of billboards and everything to try to make people aware. And I think over time it has started to pay off, and I think enough people have been calling and complaining to their cable providers. I think now we're in like 70 to 75% of homes, so there's a big increase there. But a lot of people that recognize me in the streets, I ask them, how do you watch the show, or how did you become aware of it? And for most people, it was season 1 on Netflix. Unfortunately, they all thought that the show was a Netflix show, but I think people are becoming more aware that it's on WGN and finding the channel. And I think also this year we kind of broke a record for the live +3s or +7s, like the number, like we had a rating for the premiere, and then it jumped to like 3 times that when you added in the people that DVR'd it.
Yeah, I think it went like 0.2 to 0.5 or something like that. It was a big number.
Yeah, it was a big leap. And another crazy thing about the network is the ratings are really weird because it airs like there isn't a West version and an East version of the channel. So our ratings are based on like the 10 p.m. airing on the East Coast, which is also the 7 p.m. on the West Coast. So most people aren't watching on the West Coast. So I feel like the ratings that get reported are only half of the picture because people on the West Coast will then watch it at 10 p.m. their time, but that doesn't count for the ratings for the show. So it's a really weird thing. But that kind of stuff doesn't really matter nowadays, and everyone involved in the show just wants people to watch it. So that's another benefit of feeling like we can't be canceled.
Yeah.
I was going to say, it doesn't matter how they watch it as long as they're watching it. I know Lucy Lawless was new to season 2, right? She wasn't in the first.
Yeah, she wasn't in season 1. Season 1 we had Stephen Lang from Avatar, who's awesome. He played my dad, and I got to kill him. We actually had a really great time. And then Lucy Lawless, when I heard that they were bringing her to the show, I thought it was perfect because I feel like what works about the show is very much what worked about shows like Spartacus and Battlestar Galactica, where it's these really extreme circumstances that can kind of border on being campy, but the campiness is more just a big entertainment factor, and everything is actually grounded in like characters and drama that you really care about, to just make, the experience totally satisfying.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I was a big fan. Like, not many people realize she's been in a ton of stuff since Xena. Like, that wasn't the only thing she's ever done. I was a huge fan of when she was in the first season of Spartacus. I think that show was really great, and then it kind of... With the main guy passing away, unfortunately, it kind of had to go in a different direction. But
yeah, I know Andy Whitfield. That oh man, that made me so sad.
Yeah,
when that happened because everyone loved him. He had like such a heart. Like you could just see, like this character that could kind of be perceived as arrogant or showy, especially he's with his shirt off most of the time. You usually want to hate someone like that, but you just loved him because he just really seemed like he had an amazing heart, and it's just so tragic that he passed.
Yeah, it was such a good. But back to Salem real quick. Is there any? You mentioned not thinking of the feeling of getting canceled. Is season 3 confirmed then at this point?
Not yet. I'm hearing it's a foregone conclusion, and there's kind of other just weird red tape things going on. But I'm very confident it's going to come back. I know everyone involved with it is. It's just, I don't know, something sketchy going on the business side of things.
Yeah. I know as we mentioned earlier at the beginning towards the intro, another show you were on that I know Adam and I were both huge fans of was Fringe.
Oh, cool.
And I know it had like huge elements, of science fiction, and now with Salem, you're working in the supernatural, which they kind of go hand in hand. So, is that like a genre that you're a fan of? That the supernatural?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. I'm a big science nerd, and as a result, sci-fi nerd. I just think kind of the time we're living, approaching singularity. This kind of stuff is it's unignorable, and it's the kind of stories that I'm the most entertained by. I think growing up with all those Spielberg and Zemeckis movies, Back to the Future and Jurassic Park and E.T. and, I mean, Close Encounters, like all of that. It's just like everything that I was the most entertained by as a child had to do with sci-fi stuff. And so, I don't know, that just has kind of stuck with me. And then when I realized as an actor I can kind of play in those worlds, I was like, oh, this is the easiest profession in the world. Like, I get paid to play pretend, and like people are spending millions of dollars making it seem like it's real, that I'm actually crossing universes and playing with crazy technology. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely what I'm drawn to most.
Yeah, and Ben and I are both big fans of Arrow as well, and you were the Count in that show. Kind of disappointed when they ended up killing him off.
Yeah, me too. I think that happened because I had gotten Salem, and
okay.
it was going to be really difficult. And there were one or two other episodes that they wanted me to do that I was unavailable for, and I think it was a thing where they couldn't keep me under a contract, and I have to keep trying to get other work. So they were like, I guess let's just kill him. And I had gotten a call from Mark Guggenheim, the creator of that show, when I was reading the script, that I die. And he said, I just want you to know that in this world of Arrow, anyone can come back. And I was like, Mark, I get shot with like 4 arrows through the chest, and I fall out a 10-story window and land on top of a car. I think I'm dead, and it's okay. It's been a great run. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Real quick on the Fringe note, I don't remember exactly what season it started kicking in. It was third or fourth. I think it was third, maybe even second. You were essentially 2 characters, the same person, but 2 different characters in alternate universes. Was that any more challenging than normal? I mean, was that because in a few scenes you were in the same room with yourself?
Yeah, in the same shot a lot of times, Michael Keaton multiplicity action.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it was challenging, but it was fun. It was really fun, and I was fortunate to get to see Anna Torv do it a bunch before I needed to do it.
She at least had the different color hair. I think you just had like a different hairstyle and some glasses.
Well, for a while, yeah, I had glasses and stuff. The changing characters was really easy. Like I think the only time it became tricky was like it's easy for me when I put on the clothes of a character. That's when I become the character. It just kind of changes, I don't know, my internal mindset by the way it looks and feels. The only time it became tricky, I guess, was when the Blueverse Agent Lee. Blue is our world, right? And red is the alternate? I can't remember. Yeah. So when the Blueverse Lincoln Lee was pretending to be the Redverse one, that's the only time it became tricky, and I had to take my glasses off and actually wear the costume of the other character. But he was pretending to be that anyway, so I felt like anything that kind of bled over would work for the show.
Yeah.
And on a kind of a small world type of thing, I don't know if it was a scene you were in or not, but like last year we talked to the stunt coordinator for Arrow, James Bamford.
Oh, he's incredible.
Yeah, he was in.
He
one of the episodes.
Did Josh Jackson shoot him or did I? I can't remember. One of us ended up shooting him.
Yeah, it was when you guys were escaping, right?
Yeah, well, we got captured, and then we were about to be executed by that guy.
Yeah.
And then and then we fought him, and he ended up getting shot. And yeah, then I got to work with him on Arrow, which was really fun.
Yeah. Real quick before we let you go, I don't think many people know this about you. You're actually married to Bryce Dallas Howard with a couple.
Yeah.
Did you?
It's an awesome time to be married to her.
Yeah, I would say so.
What were your thoughts on? I mean, I guess you have to say you like Jurassic World.
I really did like it. I went to the premiere, which was awesome. I thought it was really fun. I got to read the script like a year or 2 ago, and I had kind of been hearing the rumors, for like the last 10 years about militarized dinosaurs and stuff like that, so I was really nervous before I read it. And then I thought the script was awesome, and it just had the feel of the original Jurassic Park, and it has characters that you care about, and I think Chris Pratt was awesome in it, and It was great, and we're pinching ourselves every day just hearing the news on how well it's doing in the world. It's just completely surreal.
Yeah, largest movie opening of all time at this point.
Yeah, I know, and I keep, in the back of my mind, I keep hearing that, and I'm like, awesome, and then I know Star Wars is coming out, and I'm like, okay, we just got to enjoy this time while it lasts.
I don't know. I think you guys might be, I think you guys might be good. I don't know if Star Wars is going to beat it, to be honest.
Well, it's coming out around Christmas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, I guess people go on winter vacations and stuff. I don't know if the timing was just kind of perfect for Jurassic World. I don't know, but I mean, everyone lines up for Star Wars movies too, so we'll see.
I think with Star Wars, and not to go off on a quick tangent, but I think with Star Wars, I think the last couple and Jurassic Park kind of suffered from the same thing, but I think the last 3 Star Wars movies kind of left a bad taste in people's mouths. So the diehard fans are going to go see it, but everybody else, I think, might wait until they get the word back. Where Jurassic World was just something everybody wanted to see at this time, and I've seen it twice already, and I love it. So it's
awesome. Have you seen it in 3D?
I did. I saw it on IMAX 3D the first time.
Nice.
Yeah, and it was definitely awesome.
I haven't made it out yet. We have a 6.5-month-old, so it's very difficult to find time to get to movies.
Yeah. And do you have friends that don't have kids that are like, hey, let's go to the movies? And you're like, I can't. My life is over.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Even some of my friends with like older kids are able to now. So the first couple of years, I think, are going to be
it gets
fun.
easier. Apple TV becomes your friend.
Yeah.
You just like don't see anything in the theater, and then suddenly like you've got all this awesome stuff. You just have to ignore that it ever came out. And then when it suddenly appears on iTunes, you're like, awesome, I can watch this in my home now.
But it's so hard to ignore it when I do a movie TV podcast every week and see how the numbers keep going up. I'm like, I want to go see it. Speaking of the kids, you have a boy and a girl, and I just want to ask you on a personal note, which was easier to raise in the younger stages? Because I always hear boys are more difficult when they're younger, but get easier as they get older. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that's definitely been the case. Like, but it's hard to say because I think like our daughter has always. We have a younger daughter, and she's always been around an older brother, and so they've been there to kind of entertain each other. So I don't know if that made it easier. But now we're experiencing like the more sibling rivalry stuff over our attention and things like that. So I'm always needing to like figure out how to be fair with who I'm giving time to and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, I'm going to sit down next to you, and then the other one will be like, no, you need to sit down next to me. And it's like, okay, I'll sit in the middle, and then we'll kind of poke each other like to see who gets more of my body to like sit next to, and it becomes insane. Look, it's just hard all around. That's what you need to know.
That is true. It's
just challenging.
It's not a walk in the park, that's for sure.
Yeah, there was some quote I heard where it's like the hardest thing you'll ever do, but and it ruins your life as you knew it. But it's filled with these, just unbelievably transcendent moments.
Yeah, I spent the entire weekend at my house. I don't think I went out once, but it was fun still.
Yeah.
So, we're definitely going to send people to check out Salem. As you had mentioned earlier, the season 1 is still on Netflix as of right now, so they can go to Netflix to check it out. They can check out WGN On Demand for the rest of the episodes, or just go to WGNAmerica.com, to see when replays are going to be airing on WGN.
Also, like, I mean, probably the creative people behind the show would hate me saying this, but I feel like we didn't really find our stride until the second half of season 1, so you kind of got to power through the first few episodes, and I promise it's really going to like pay off and become explosively awesome.
Cool. Yeah, we're definitely going to send people towards it, as well as you are at Seth Gabel on Twitter, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll send some people your way to follow you on Twitter as well.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
But yeah, this was a lot of fun, Seth. Thanks for spending some time with us tonight.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
So, all right, guys, we will be back with the showcast right after this break.